And welcome back to week 2, day 2 of the Commonwealth League here tonight. Of course, we just saw mediocre at best, taking down G3 Reapers in 33 minutes in what was a very exciting game. Have seen ADCs get fed all throughout the course of this season thus far. That game, no different, as it was mediocre at best ADC Gavril Princep getting fed and making a big impact in that one. I am LaRue, casting today, doing the play-by-play duties, and joining me on the color side is Jinja Ninja. Of course, appreciate having Jinja Ninja. This is his first week doing the casting duties for us, and so far you've done a very good job, Jinja, and I'm real proud of you for somebody who hasn't had a whole lot of experience in the field. So
Thanks, Mom.
we do get into Monster Mash and RWR here, though. We won't spend a whole lot of time living in the past. We got an 0-3 team and a 3-0 team going at it here, but this one might be a little bit of an interesting matchup. You got RWR, they're coming in with their usual roster. You got Windswain up top, Icoma in the jungle, Zyra Ascent in the mid lane, Natsberg down in the ADC spot, and Exact Time in support. But Monster Mash, for I think maybe the 4th game in a row, is making a roster change. And this has been kind of the story of Monster Mash. The first 2 days or so, you had them playing in roles. Most of the players were playing in off roles. Then last night, you had them playing in their regular roles, but you had them with a last-minute E-sub. And then tonight, you've got an all-new roster. You've got Islamic Samurai up top, a Stupid Bird in the jungle, Catastrophe in the mid lane, Snow Too Funky, who's been playing top for them. He's going to go back to his native role in the ADC position. And then Sume, who we saw last night, he is going to be playing support for Monster Mash today. So once again, Monster Mash is continuing to see what works out for them. But you see here, pick bans. Monster Mash does lose a ban for E-sub reasons, so they will ban out Jinx and Ryze. Azir, Jhin, and Sejuani the bans for RWR. Then you see it's a Yasuo locked in for RWR, and there's the Zyra response from Monster Mash. And then looks like maybe the Jarvan for the jungle, and there it is.
Looks like Mom's doing the standard, pick your ADC, pick your support, pick your jungle. Bold first pick by RWR. Do you know which player is the Yasuo player? Is it Windswain or Zyra Ascend?
I don't know. Let me go ahead and check. That's why we have the numbers, I guess. That's all. The icons down below the stream. I'll go ahead and see if I can't see anyone there. I see Windswain doesn't have any. If it's him, then he hasn't played Yasuo a whole lot in ranked. Icoma, he's played. That's
looks like it's Zyra Ascend.
Yeah, it does look like it looks like it's going to be Zyra Ascend. At least he has the most Yasuo games of anybody who might be playing Yasuo here. The Ashen Morgana is going to be locked in, though. The bot lane looks like it's going to be for RWR. A lot of CC there, a lot of stun time, if you will. And so we'll see what Monster Mash picks to kind of even things out. It's going to be the Ezreal. So an Ezreal Zyra bot lane. Haven't seen a whole lot of Ezreal this year, but he is still ever present as an AD carry. So as we are through our first pick phase here, we will see what the bans are going to be. Looks like for RWR, it looks like you might still need a top laner and a jungler. As you see, the Vladimir going to be banned away. And then for Monster Mash, looks like you still need your solo lanes. Looks like you still need the mid laner and the top laner to kind of complete out your roster. But a lot of options still left, a lot of champions left open. Of course, if you're RWR, you get maybe an extra champion in there since Monster Mash does lose the ban. But it looks like no Kiana for Catastrophe. No, that was a champion he was really interested in when it first came out. But we will not see it. We won't see the debut of Kiana in the Commonwealth League, is what I'm trying to say, as it's taken away here in this one.
I hope Monster Mash bans chokes out some of the AP champions. Yeah, some of the AP champions that RWR could be picking. A Yasuo mid changes up how your team composition has to work out because you don't want to have the all AD team.
Yeah, so something I'm curious about, and I think we saw this, I don't remember if it was RWR playing this, but we might see the possibility of a Malphite jungle.
AP Malphite
that has
jungle.
been AP Malphite jungle has been very strong as of late, and especially with the Yasuo. Can't see me, but I'm circling the Yasuo with my mouse.
What the rock is cooking.
Yeah, that's about as easy of a wombo as you can get. So maybe we might see that. I don't know if Monster Mash wants to pick that away here, but I think that might be what RWR is just planning for here. But Monster Mash actually has already picked their jungle, so it would need to be a Malphite top. do believe that Zyra is going to go top. And there's the Poppy locked in. So it looks like it's going to be a Poppy top for Islamic Samurai. We will get an opportunity to see what RWR has been playing, whether it is that Malphite, or maybe it's something different that I haven't even thought of just yet.
I want to see full AP Rock, one-shot Ezreal and Zyra every team fight.
I mean, we did see something similar to that. The
Orianna.
Basic days past, but it looks like maybe there's the Orianna, and it looks like they may go for the full Wombo combo, assuming maybe this is the Malphite that we both think is coming. Don't know if Homa have. Yeah, I think we're hoping. I think it would be a very smart pick, but
probably Yasuo top at that point.
No, it's gonna be the Gnar, so it is gonna be the Yasuo mid.
Yasuo jungle.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, when we talk about it, Ikoma. You heard me say it. Ikoma, his most played champion this season is Yasuo.
His team affiliate is Yasuo too.
So it looks like it is going to be Yasuo jungle. And then you've got the Orianna in the mid lane. That is very, very spicy. And it looks like the response to the Orianna in the mid lane is going to be the Cassiopeia.
Cassiopeia's a good punish for Orianna. They have similar ranges as champions, but Cassiopeia's damage output in an extended fight is much, much stronger than Orianna's.
So the comps, I think this one's a little more set and dry than what we had.
No flexing aside from that Yasuo.
Not a whole lot of flexes here. I mean, I think I don't even think you can really flex the Yasuo that much, considering what else they have picked.
Oh, it's definitely a jungle, but I'm saying like in their draft.
Oh yeah,
to be a jungle.
Yeah, sure, it was definitely a flex here, but as we get through the pick bans or through the client, I don't think we're gonna have to worry about who is going where. As, it does look like it is the Yasuo jungle, it is the Morgana support, it is the Orianna mid. Of course, Gnar. I think when you look at potential junglers there, I mean, even if you were giving that to Zyra Ascend, who would jungle? Probably Gnar. I don't even know who would be the second best jungler on the team. That's not a good
Morgana
pick.
jungle.
I never said it was good, but you gotta think, like, I guess it can. I mean, Ashe, I'm pretty sure I've seen a Night Blue 3 video where he jungled with Ashe. I mean, what champion hasn't he jungled with at this point? I mean, you could do a lot of things, but I don't know. So we will need to go ahead and see where everybody is going. When you talk about Monster Mash, I don't think there's a whole lot there. I mean, you could send the Jarvan top, you could send the Poppy into the jungle. I am a Poppy jungle enthusiast, so that's where I would probably be playing her if I was playing her. But if I know Stupid Bird,
I think Jarvan top is worse in the Gnar than Poppy. I think it's gonna be tough for Poppy. I think Jarvan's worse, so I expect the Jarvan jungle.
Yeah. So I was about to say, if I know Bird, and I've known Bird a long time, a lot of these players they play under my organization, Casual Banter. That's probably going to be the Jarvan in the jungle, and then the Poppy for Islamic Samurai. He comes from a team that places a lot of value in Poppy. Shout out to Sneezes and his obsessive fandom with the champion. But either way, it looks like he's going to lock it in, and so it is going to be Poppy for Islamic Samurai.
This happened last week. I saw it was a Gnar into the Maokai. They picked. Well, this one didn't work out where they picked Poppy into Gnar, but Gnar is a traditional tank beater, just with how the build works. Goes Cleaver into Mallet and just runs down the tank. But I think Poppy has a strong damage output for being the tank that she is. So I think she'll stand a better chance against the Gnar in lane. And then the W is going to be very useful just to stop a singular dash from Yasuo. It can mean a lot.
So we do see here, got the Yasuo, you got the Poppy, you got the Gnar, you got the Jarvan, you got the Orianna, you got the Cassiopeia. We got to go through the second ban phase real quick, but then we will be able to finally see the comps in all their glory and get through that 3-minute delay that we all know and love so very, very much. But like I said, this is going to be a very interesting matchup because once again, the members of Monster Mash switching positions hasn't worked out for them thus far. But of course, Snow Too Funky, Season 1, one of the best AD carries, if not the best AD carry in the league for the full season, across the entirety of the season. Or maybe were some players that had individual games better, but when you take the full body of work into account, maybe Snow Tooth Funky, one of the better AD carries in Commonwealth League Season 1. So he is back in that position after playing top for the first 3 games. You've got a new player in top. I can tell you, as long as Samurai, he is also not a top laner. He's actually naturally a jungler, or at least he plays jungle under my banner. But he will be playing top here today into Win Swain. And then Kurt, after playing jungle a couple times, almost fooled me for a second.
Yeah,
But
no, I don't think they're going to hold their swaps.
I saw that switch. I'm like, I know Cassiopeia can go bot, but I've never known Snow to play that champion. But it does look like that is going to be everything we expected. But, Kurt played jungle the first week, played mid lane last night, had a pretty solid game, but was not able to help his team to the victory. And then, of course, we saw Sume make his debut last night for Monster Mash and had a little bit of a struggle. It wasn't a total destruction last night for Monster Mash. Probably their best game of the year in terms of how close they were, but they still ended up taking the loss. So we do see the comps, and with 3 minutes to talk about the spectator delay, who do you think has the advantage into the early game, into the mid game, and maybe even into the late game? We've seen a lot of games go late at Jinja, but who do you think has the advantage into this one, at least in Champ Select?
I think top lane, Poppy has the advantage early. She has a lot of base damage, and if she can get the Gnar into a wall, she'll do well. It might just be a wet noodle fight where she goes Dorans and Dirtles for the whole time. I'm hoping Jarvan goes very aggressive and very deep into the Yasuo's jungle to try to kill him. I can't imagine Yasuo has good sustain. His shield procs on monsters, but it's not going to come up or be too relevant. Cassio and Orianna, both champions that want to farm early, don't have a lot of damage as mages do. Cassio is going to start being stronger than Orianna in the 1v1, but they'll start team fighting by then. And then bot lane, I think it's just going to be who lands their skill shots better, who dodges skill shots better. It's both of the supports are good. Lock somebody down for a minute, and then both ADCs can follow up from some range to poke out the other side. I think RWR's win condition is going to be how well the Morgana, Ashe, and Orianna can control space and how well Gnar can engage with that control. And then Monster Mash's win condition is how well can they engage with the Jarvan? How many members can they hold? Because Orianna, Ashe, and Morgana, their only mobility is going to be their flash. So if Jarvan catches them in Jarvan ultimate without any way to get out, Poppy can come in, wall slam somebody using the Jarvan wall. Zyra ultimate can control a whole huge amount of space, and then the Cassio W can even stop the flash from working just because of the root effect that it gives.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup for sure. Do want to point out that there's only 2 knockups on the side of RWR that they can take. Actually, 3. I did forget about the Orianna, but it is going to be on the Yasuo to hit a few of his tornadoes himself. Of course, Orianna, she doesn't have a knockup very often. But as for the Gnar, also not very often. It is their ultimates, and so we'll have to see how well Ikoma can hit his tornadoes. Definitely a well-practiced Yasuo in the Yasuo club. Does have about 170 Yasuo games this season, but jungle, not really the position you see Yasuo most often. So definitely exciting. I'm excited to get into this one. Of course, I am LaRue doing the play-by-play casting for you on this evening. And joining me, of course, Ginger Ninja on the color casting side. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that follow button. We go live every Saturday, every Sunday, starting at about 7. Of course, today a little bit different. We had to reschedule some things around, so we're going to be going late. It's Commonwealth League After Dark. If I can go ahead and hijack that phrase from college football for a second. But we are going to be going. We do have one more game after this. It'll be Lionheart versus Nocturnal Dragons. It is a 0-3 team versus a 1-2 team. But, of course, that game has quite a bit of storylines in its own right. So we take a look at the skins here. Going to be regular Gnar, going to be Nightbringer, Yasuo, Victorious Orianna. When you want to flex on somebody, let them know you made it to gold, and didn't have enough time. But you'll see the skins soon enough. I can tell you, I think I was going to go with Monster Mash anyway. I think they had Star Guardians, and I always go for Star Guardians. But of course, Project Ash on the other side as well. So I don't know.
Project Ash, Victorious Ori, any Yasuo skin looks good.
Yeah, so I always pick, but it's another game where I don't know what I'm gonna pick. So we're just gonna go ahead and get to the action here as we will see what these two teams decide to do. I think we've seen RWR actually invade once before. See if maybe they go for it here once again. You take a look at the runes. You see it is going to be not Conquer on the Yasuo, but that is going to be Fleet Footwork. I don't know. Does that work on monsters?
Yes, it does. It works on auto attacks, basically anyone. It's what you do in Mundo Jungle because he has a lot of sustain problems since he uses his health to farm. So I think it's a good pick on Yasuo just to survive in the jungle. Goes for 3 pots, 3 health potions instead of refillable because it's going to provide more health on his first clear. See if that's relevant with how he comes after his first clear, if it's going to get better once you get some items on him. Be interested to see if he actually finishes his jungle item, going for Warrior or Bloodraiser, or just go straight into the crit build.
Yeah, and so you see here it's going to be a standard 5-point start for these two sides. See everybody fanning out, the two junglers hiding up in the mid lane, kind of hiding where they plan on starting. I think if you're probably Yasuo, you probably go for the bot side, yeah.
100%.
Go for the red.
Red buff helps clears a lot, healing and damage, and then he needs a stronger leash since Yasuo is a weaker jungler.
So you do see here, nice ward placement from the Monster Mash bot side, putting a ward over the Dragon Pit. So you can really kind of track that Ashe and Morgana and see where they're going, maybe even helping out to spot out the jungler. As you see the Ashe walking away, so at least they know maybe there's that bot side start. I think it was probably more of an obvious start when you're Yasuo jungle, but still helps regardless. Do you see here, it was a bottom side jungle start for the Jarvan as well, so he will go ahead and moving past his wolf. We'll see, maybe he's going buff to start things out, but you see here Catastrophe and Cyrus Sen already trading blows in the mid lane.
Yasuo's looking like he's going to do all of the camps on his bot side. Jarvan doing 2, maybe goes for Krugs after to get level 3, maybe hitting top. He's looking very low. Has Smite up to help heal a little, but Jarvan's first clear is not the greatest.
You can see here, he did take his red buff. Now moving over to his Krugs. You see here, Catastrophe pushing the early advantage, using a lot of mana to do so, but is going to take Orianna down below 50% health. Still losing in CS though, already down 2 CS, not a whole difference actually, and there you go, he ties it up immediately. I don't even know why I'm talking about CS differentials 2.5 minutes into the game. But you know, if you don't have anything to say, that's usually what I default to, and so it's usually easy to talk about. But either way, it'll be interesting to see who kind of takes the early advantage in this one. Actually, you see Bird, he's going to roam into the Yasuo jungle, actually going to hit the vision plant, going to spot the Yasuo out.
Yasuo smart to ward his blue before walking to it. I think might just be his practice on Yasuo jungle, knowing that the enemy jungler is more than likely going to be invading you, trying to kill you early. Wanted him to check it out before walking in. Bird gave his position away by hitting the Squire's plant, but gets to see where Yasuo is.
So we do see here, nobody taking any huge advantages just yet, as it's like Wind Swain and Islamic, just for the most part, going too aggressive. See Ikoma taking that blue buff here. See here, CS advantages, it actually is Ikoma with the 4 CS to camp advantage. Has taken one more camp than a stupid Bird on the Jarvan, but see Bird placing a little more emphasis on getting that vision down in the bottom river, going on the Scuttle Crab. You also see Kurt placing a ward deep into bot side jungle of RWR as well. So,
yep. Bird's done a very weird path to start off, ignoring almost all of his camps. Looking like he's gonna go wrap around for the bot side.
I'll see who's going to gank first. It actually is going to be Bird. He is going to be hit with the Dark Binding there, so that's going to keep him down for just a moment. He's going to go ahead and try to find the Dark Binding onto Ashe. Does do so. There's the root from Ashe. It's going to be first blood for Jarvan, as Ashe just cannot deal with the CC. Of course, the very edge of the Flag and Drag connecting there. Well done by Stupid Bird to maybe salvage things after being hit by the Dark Binding. Of course, you do see here, it was both summoners down for the Ashe as well. Both summoners down for the Zyra, but I'm pretty sure you'll take first blood if you're Monster Mash.
I think it was well played by Morgana. Did everything she could to keep him alive, but the Jarvan came out of binding before she could get away. Zyra flash root and electrocute Jarvan, so it's going to provide a lot of burst. He's got good base damage on his Q, and his passive dealing 8% of their current idle.
So it is going to be the kill onto the Jarvan. Both Ezreal and Zyra picking up assists for their efforts in that one. Don't know a whole lot about Sume. I remember he looked okay in his debut yesterday, but finding the route there to secure the kill for first blood. As you see, weren't able to push any tower plates or get a whole lot of turret damage down after the kill. If anything, actually did not get a single shot onto the tower. But still getting that kill and still kind of maybe keeping them down for the time being. And actually, I say that, and then you notice the Nats were actually still up 7 CS in lane despite the death.
I think that can be attributed to the big wave in front of him, but as well as the Morgana Ashe have been pushing in quite often. The Ashe W hitting creeps can help push in a lot, and I think it's good on them to push in the Ezreal since he doesn't have any natural wave clearing abilities outside of his ultimate. So it's a good strategy to sneak a CS lead.
For sure, as you can see here, actually, because of that big wave coming up, you do see the Ezreal kind of tying things up as he farms the wave coming up near his tower. And so as you take a look at the individual gold, it is actually the Ezreal in the lead so far, at least gold-wise, by about 200 gold or so.
Yep, Clepto plus the assist can help with his gold generation.
700 gold lead here at 7 minutes. Looks like we have a fight coming in. It's Islamic. He's going to go ahead and use his dash onto the Scuttle Crab to get into the fight quicker. Stupid Bird, he's going to put some damage down. There's the dash away. The Tornado is going to find him. There's the Blast Plant to get away. We'll see if Bird and Samurai maybe want to go for the dive on this one. You see here, he's going to go ahead and get that shield up through the movement. And so we'll see if they go ahead and try to risk it. Samurai, he's going to flash in, gets the stun. There's the shield, and that's the kill. But it looks like he may go down. Yes, he will. Trading 1-for-1 jungler for the top laner.
Almost got out with that Triumph.
Now trying to weigh the Triumph proc with how much health is that turret going to do to me. I thought maybe the shield was going to bait in the Poppy, and it kind of did in a way. Maybe you get the kill without the shield there from the dash and the stun, but
100%.
he also shield keeping him alive long enough that he was able to keep the Poppy underneath the tower long enough for him to get the kill. So we'll see who that kill benefits more as we advance through this game. Almost 8 minutes into this one. Of course, the first game, if you're just now joining us, 33 minutes between G3 Reapers and Mediocre at best. A game that was really probably should have been over about 8 minutes before it actually ended, but still a convincing victory for Mediocre at best over G3 Reapers to improve to 4-0 on the season. G3 Reapers, of course, dropping down to 2-2 on the year. Still have one more game after this as well. You want to watch Lionheart Esports and Nocturnal Dragon. I should say. Yeah, I was going to get to that in just a second, but the gank down mid lane, had to finish my thought before I moved on to another one, or else I would have messed up both thoughts. But either way, the Cassiopeia, she is going to be a flash down as the Orianna ultimate was properly placed. Also, Icoma, of course, does have his ultimate. He is going to be able to jump in moving forward. There's an R ultimate coming down onto Islamic Samurai. The stun is going to come down, not going to find any walls. Islamic Samurai, he's going to have to pop the W, but you do see your Gnar just putting down the auto attacks. The Q is going to slow him down just for a little bit. But he will be able to get away. Another gank down to the bot side as here comes Stupid Bird. Actually, that's going to be a double root by the Zyra, and that's going to be a 2-for-0 down bot side. Well done by Sume, finding the double root to pick up one of the kills. A very nice coordinated gank from Monster Mash. They're looking real good down on the bottom side.
Get to turn that into an Infernal Drake. That's the Jarvan that I was talking about. Ashe and Morgana only have Flash as their source of mobility, so when it's down, they just die straight for it. Both of their flashes was down, so the Jarvan went for the Flash R, very far ahead from Ezreal Zyra, but since neither bot laner had Flash, it gave them enough time to catch up. Played by Stupid Bird.
Yeah, so 4 kills to 1 here at 9.5 minutes. 1.8k gold advantage for Monster Mash. We kind of talked about it. This is maybe not a traditional 0-3 team considering all of the role swaps they have made.
Yeah, importantly, they haven't been the ones losing.
Yeah, when they've lost, they've been in other roles. And now that you see here Snow Too Funky, maybe him being in the AD carry position where he plays 90% of his games. Maybe that making a lot of difference here, but either way, it has worked so far. Still plenty of game left to go. But of course, that 1.6K goal advantage definitely helpful here in the early game. See here, Poppy going to go in once again, does find the dash onto the minion to get closer to the Gnar. There is the ultimate. Putting down the Q last time, Islamic Samurai going to win that trade.
That's that Poppy damage coming in.
Yeah, I like the dash onto the minion to get closer. Sometimes as a Poppy, you don't need to dash onto a champion. You don't have to put the dash damage down. Sometimes it's best to just dash in so you can get the rest of your damage down, and that's what she was able to do there, especially getting the hop blocked by the W, by the I don't know what the ability is called, but the Poppy W. I know what I'm talking about. I play Poppy.
The steadfast.
Able to keep him from escaping, yes. But hold on, here we have a gank. The Cleanse is not going to find anything. Catastrophe, he's going to have to try to ult to get away, but there is the Orianna Yasuo synergy that is able to get him kill number 2.
Yeah, it's what they tried the last time, and now no flash on Cassio, but ulti on Orianna. Well played.
Yeah, you saw the Cleanse coming out there, but the Cleanse not really able to help a whole lot with what Yasuo has to offer, so not able to really get away. The ultimate did not find the Yasuo, only found the Orianna. Of course, once Yasuo is on top of you, very, very hard to get him off you if you are an immobile mage. So well done by the mid jungle of RWR. So 4 kills to 2. You see another route coming down onto the Morgana, maybe a lane gank upcoming. You do see that bottom, bottom brush is warded by RWR, but the top brush is not. So we'll see how long Bird is willing to wait here. Of course, if he does walk into that next bush, he is going to be spotted. Maybe not Monster Mash content to just let them push back forward. See, that ward not going to expire anytime soon either, about halfway through its lifespan. As you see, Sume and Snow Too Funky standing really far back off it. Haven't seen a whole lot of lane games so far this season. That was kind of a calling card at CWE Season 1. Junglers who loved to lane gang, but haven't seen a whole lot of it this year. Do you see Ikoma roaming down towards the bot side as well? Looks like we may have a 3v3 upcoming. That's going to be something interesting, as Ikoma also backing up towards the tower. He'll be planning a lane gank of his own. No, it looks like he's going to turn around for the time being. Bird, he's going to try to go in. He is going to land the ultimate down on the Morgana. Morgana going to Black Shield, ult, and Zanya. She's going to keep herself alive for just a little bit longer. Let's see how much they can find. It's actually going to be the Zyra ultimate claiming the life of Morgana. Waiting until the Black Shield expired to really start to do all of her damage. So they are going to claim the kill. Nice patience from Stupid Bird there to at least lead with something.
Yeah, and now the flash heal is down on Ashe, so when Jarvan gets his ultimate back up, he'll probably make his way down bot to repeat gank.
Yeah, definitely you see here Catastrophe still going in. There's the Orianna ultimate going down, but we'll see how much damage Orianna has on the back end of that fight. Does find the last QW. So she is going to put Catastrophe down to about maybe 20% of his health. But also, Cassiopeia doing quite a bit of damage as well to the Orianna. So a nice even trade between the two of them, as neither of them really either backing down from a fight. You see the Gnar coming into mega form. You see here giving over the blue buff to Catastrophe. Very big when you have a Cassiopeia to give over those blue buffs. But something we haven't looked at for a while, Jinja, is the CS numbers. And definitely better CS numbers than game number 1.
Much closer on all sides, yeah.
Much closer, much higher.
Gnar's 25 up as expected, range versus melee. Ezreal's done well to match the Ashe, even though Ashe has been pushing and has some better CSing tools. And mid's 10 CS off, which is as expected with what's happened there. Everything's very even.
See here the Ezreal ultimate coming out. Ikoma walking around the bot side. Snow Too Funky does still have the E available, so he might be able to just get away with this one. No, he's actually just going to be able to walk it out. But Ikoma putting a little bit of emphasis on this bottom lane. And, you know, I'm not the most smart guy in the world, but it almost sounds like you would probably want to focus where you have knockups, because from the time it takes you to walk to lane, unless you're able to attack the Scuttle Crab on the way down, you're not usually going to have a tornado available for quite some time.
Yeah, I think just doing the repeat ganks to Cassio is his best bet, but as Yasuo, he probably just wants to farm from the stat ball that Yasuo can be, get his 2 items so he has 100% crit, go crazy. Important timing that I wanted to mention earlier, Jarvan's ultimate is up at the same time Drake is up, so he can try to...
Looks like we're gonna have to fight over the dragon here. This blue team is actually gonna steal the dragon. Stupid Bird's fighting that a little bit early, but who wins the fight? That's gonna be Zyra Sen going down. Poppy on the back end of that fight. It looks like it's gonna be a 3-0 as RWR gets the dragon, but they are gonna lose 3 of their members in the process.
Depending on how much Monster Mash can get out of that fight, how many objectives, how many turret plays they can get, I think it might be better for RWR just taking the Drake. Even losing 3 members, just taking the Drake. Games go long. 2 Infernals on Monster Mash's side, since they have basically 4 damage dealers, depending on what the Jarvan's building, looking like he's going more tanky. So 3 damage dealers can matter a lot with 2 Infernal Drakes.
Yeah, so definitely there's the first tower going down. It is going to go to the mid tier 1. As Cassio gets some extra gold in her pocket. Of course, Stupid Bird with the assist on that one. Our second turret following right after that, as that is going to be the bot side of Monster Mash taking down tower number 2. But you do see here, Long Samurai, he's taking some damage from Wind Swain. He's going to have Meganar coming up in just a moment. Does have the ult available, but he's not going to go in this time, just hopped away.
So,
I'm going to say 3-1 Poppy is something to look at as we move forward. That's going to be a pretty big Poppy depending on her build as we get later into the game.
Gnar has Cleaver on back, and he's probably going to be going for the Frozen Mallet build afterwards. We see a longsword in his...
Yeah, long extended trade here is Long Samurai. He's on the opposite side, but we do see here the members of RWR, they are coming from the back side. You see here also Monster Mash, they are coming up from the lane, so we might have ourselves a team fight upcoming. There's Snow Too Funky on the end of the fight. Wind Swain just going to go ahead and flash away. He does get away from the damage. The Ezreal ultimate is there, but it's not going to be enough to claim the kill. There is the Oriole ultimate coming down on the Snow Too Funky. Catastrophe joins the fight at the very end. He's going to find the kill onto exact time, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and miss the ultimate, not able to find it. Ash does send the arrow deep, does find the Jarvan, but it's going to be a double kill for Catastrophe, as that is an overall victory. I think at the end, yeah, 2 for 1 for the side of Monster Mash. They were able to extend the fight long enough to get the rest of their members into that team fight.
And if we look at where the money went, Morgana got the kill on Poppy, whereas the carries on Monster Mash's side were the ones that collected the gold. So heavily advantaged for Monster Mash at the end of that fight. Trade Herald for a turret, but the turret had all 5 plates at the start of the siege, so it's only worth its turret gold, no extra plate gold coming from that, which Herald basically equals.
Okay, you see here the tornado is coming down on the Snow Too Funky. He's going to have to try to walk away. Does dodge the Yasuo Q, but the Ashe is going to be there, and that's going to force Snow Too Funky to back off. But look where his Long Samurai is. He's in the back of the fight, does not find the dash, stop the dash with his W, but there's a TP coming down from Wind Swain. He's going to be on the end of the fight. Sume is going to be on a killing spree. Does find the Ashe with the ultimate. Wind Swain, the Ignite is dropped down. It's a double kill for the Zyra. This support, she does a lot of damage. It's going to be exact time trying to run away. He does put the black shield on himself for Catastrophe. It's going to flash over the wall. The Oriana's shield is there, but one more E should do it. That will be right there. It is another kill for Catastrophe. 3-1 for Catastrophe here at 19 minutes. He's looking to be very, very big as we continue to move along.
Catastrophe's done very well for himself. He's got a Seraph's Embrace stacked with 1 more spell cast, highest CS in the game. He hasn't been everywhere on the map, so he hasn't been participating in all the kills. A lot of them have been happening bot lane, but he's been playing very well for himself. 2-item Cassio, ready to go crazy.
Yeah, so 13 kills to 3, 5k gold lead for Monster Mash here at about 20 minutes. And of course, saw this in the last game. We're going to go ahead and mention again. How well is Monster Mash going to be able to close this one out? Kind of take it into the mid game, tank it into the late game. We saw the last game. It should have been over by 25 minutes, but it ended up going about 8 minutes longer than it should have. And Monster Mash, they've been very vocal. I've had members in my DMs saying they don't know how well some teams close. Well, now you're in the driver's seat, Monster Mash. How are you going to finish this one out? What's the next step, Jinja? If it was you on this, if it was you, and if it was your Diamond 4 solo queue game, what are you doing to kind of maybe start to move this one towards the way where you can close it 1 out?
Forced up turret, since it's an outer turret. That's free gold sitting on the map. And then control, Visioner, and Baron. Baron bait, Baron bait, Baron bait. Post 20 minutes. It's definitely what you want to be doing. It either forces the team to come answer you, and you can get a good fight, which is...
Yeah, it looks like Windswain might be caught out here, so we'll go ahead and talk about that here. Is that the ultimate not going to be enough to keep him safe? It's going to be another kill for Catastrophe. Dark Binding is not going to connect. You see here, 3 of the members of RAR, they are on the bottom side. They're going to maybe trade a tower for a dragon here, as the Rift Herald is going to be summoned up top. I imagine this tower will go down. They don't have a whole lot of minions, but that Rift Herald is going to be able to tank it long enough. You see here, the Ocean Drake is going to go down. Stupid Bird, he's going to go ahead and flag and drag on to the Morgana. Snow Too Funky, he's going to just jump in. It is going to be the kill for Stupid Bird. The tower does go down, so they get the kill and the tower. But RAR does pick up the Ocean Drake, actually the Cloud Drake.
Yeah, I think that's a good trade. Cloud Drake for 2 kills and a turret. It looks like they're turning towards Baron. Just an Infernal Drake on their side, no Earth Drake, so it's going to be a bit slower, but Cassio is definitely a Baron burner.
21 minutes in, and with the Morgana down, that's going to be the Baron started up by Monster Mash. Looks like this one is going to be shredded down fairly well, very quickly. Icoma, he's maybe not going to be there in time. It looks like this is going to be a Baron for Monster Mash, and how they're going to look for the fight, but there's a 3-man ultimate coming out from the Orianna ultimate, but will they be able to find anything on the backside? There goes the rest of the members. It looks like Gnar and Ash, the last 2 left alive, with Morgana coming up in tow. Islamic Samurai still on the front line of the fight. It's going to be a kill on to the Poppy, a double kill for Windswain. But still have 2 members of the Baron for Monster Mash. Big Orianna ultimate there to really kind of salvage that situation for RAR.
Yeah, Gnar bait, Monster Mash.
Ooh. Ezreal popping off there. Oh my goodness gracious. Double kill for Snow Too Funky. I told you, Jinja, if you put him in the AD carry position, he might be able to make more of an impact. And that was about one of the better plays we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, that was very well played. I was going to say, Monster Mash basically just got, 7 kills, but now it's 9 kills worth of gold for them. They're up, 6k gold now. 2 Barons still on. They can run it down mid, send all 5, use their long-range siege with Zyra, Ezreal, and Cassio to try to zone off. There's no pure tanks. Like, Gnar is the closest to a pure tank they have, but he doesn't have resistances at the moment. Basically just all HP. So they have very good siege that they can transition to right now.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go ahead and use those Baron-empowered minions to push into the mid lane. The Baron-empowered minions are going to travel with the Zyra and the Ezreal. Remember, in the ensuing fight, you saw Catastrophe go down, you saw Poppy go down, you saw Stupid Bird go down at the very end of the fight. So they're going to have to travel wherever the bot lane goes if they want to use those Baron-empowered minions to push through. But you see here, Islamic Samurai doesn't have TP up. He's going to have to maybe think about joining the team. He's going to be up here real soon.
I think that last Baron fight was definitely a mistake by Monster Mash. Catastrophe and Sume are the ones that have important members that don't have any mobility in their kit, so Ezreal and Jarvan could have moved towards the back of the pit, just use their EQ and Ezreal E to just get away from the pit after taking the Baron instead of trying to fight. Just save your Barons, just back up, reset, you're low, you got resistances burn from Baron, so it's not a good time to turn and fight.
Yeah, here, I was going to say maybe even a little over-aggressive to try to start that fight, because the Baron wasn't taken for maybe as quickly as it should have been.
Yeah.
So they were just trying really eager to get into that. Yeah. So maybe, of course, you overstay, then you get 3-man Orianna ultimate, and then Yasuo is able to get in there. And we haven't seen too much impact from the Yasuo, but whenever he's able to find that Orianna, whenever the Orianna ultimate is there, they've been able to do the most damage here. But you do see Islamic Samurai, he's going to start to harass that Yasuo just a little bit. The Black Shield is down on the Icoma. There's the Ash Arrow onto Sume, and that's going to be a shutdown for the Orianna. Snow Too Funky, he's going to go down next. Islamic Samurai, he's taking a lot of damage from the Ash. This could be catastrophic for Monster Mash. It's going to be 4-0 so far, and Catastrophe, he's going to have to try to run away. That's already a 4-0, and that's going to be also dashing through the minions. That's going to force the flash away from the Cassiopeia. The Tornado does find it, but it looks like he's going to be away. But a bad fight for Monster Mash to take.
the Poppy went in, tried to solo the Yasuo, and that's what I talked about earlier pre-game, was how well can Ashe, Morgana, Ori control the space. They worked well to try to split up the members. Gnar had his Mega coming on, and they were walking into the jungle when he popped it, so he got to get the double bounce on his E over, and then ult everyone for the Yasuo to come clean up. So well played by RWR to get another foot back in the game. They've almost evened up the gold lead, and that Infernal Drake might be becoming more and more relevant.
Yeah, exactly. As we are past the 25-minute mark. Still a 1.8k gold lead, but that is not the 5k gold lead we saw earlier in this game about 5 or 6 minutes ago. So definitely this one has turned real interesting real fast. But of course, something to note is that Ezreal is still strong. That was something to note in the previous game when the ADC was taken down. As you see here, another Infernal Drake going down for Monster Mash. When the ADC was taken down, it was G3 Reapers winning the fights. But when
Morgana popped Zhonya's there. I believe she was trying to ward, so that might be relevant in the next upcoming fight. Good on Monster Mash to secure the Drake when they can. Sad that they can't triple Infernals, but still an advantage in terms of damage on their side.
Yeah. Very big advantage when you consider the Ezreal and the Zyra. They both greatly benefited from it. The Cassiopeia, she's going to enjoy having double Infernals as well. So Monster Mash, they're still in the driver's seat. Perhaps maybe not as much as they were. This game actually almost maybe a little more even. I don't know what I would call it. Gold lead, of course, you do have the advantage for Monster Mash, but towers are the same. Dragons, each team has 2. It's a little bit more even than the kills are letting on, but you do see here, say 1-3-1. There's the arrow coming down onto Snow 2 Funky. He's going to go ahead and use his E. It looks like that's going to be enough to get him away, so that's a big cooldown there for Natsford on the Ashe arrow. That's going to be about 1 minute and 20 seconds that he doesn't have that big engage tool for the side.
Might incentivize Snow to Funky to grab a QSS. Still hasn't purchased one against an Ashe this late in the game. A little suspect.
Maybe a little bit too confident in his dodging abilities. Of course,
Ezreal's a champion that has the tools to work around it, but still something to be wary about.
Yes. So, taking a look at the individual goal, we haven't done that in quite some time. I think it's obvious where the gold is. There's the Dark Binding coming down the jar, and the Flagon Drag isn't going to find anything, but he is going to go ahead and use his ultimate onto the Morgana. She's going to go ahead and flash away. The TP is coming in from Wind Swain, but will he be able to join this fight in time? It's already 2-0 in favor of RWR, and it looks like they're going to take down Islamic Samurai next. That's a 3-0. Can Kurtatri and Sume get away? Kurtatri, he's going to have to use his cleanse. He is going to get away from the Dark Binding. Natsford is on the chase. He's going to pop the Q. He's able to slow down Kurtatri. It's going to be the Saracen Brace popped next. The Narq not able to find anything. It looks like the Snake is going to be able to slink away. The Monster Mash just not taking any fights that are working for them. They are able to find Icoma, but it's still a 3-1 on the side of RWR.
That was very well played by Catastrophe to handle the Yasuo. Snow Funky got knocked up by the tornado from Yasuo and just died straight from that. Yasuo is very fed. He has the most gold in the game. 2.5 items plus boots working towards his Bloodthirster. So, and then Catastrophe played well at the end to make sure that he and Sume didn't die, so it wasn't a complete wipe for Monster Mash. But yeah, the game's completely evened out now. The only advantage is, you know, a couple hundred gold and an Infernal Drake.
Yeah, a little bit of gold. Actually, about 2k gold for the Ezreal over the Ashe, sort of making up a large amount of the gold difference there. But everywhere else, it seems that RWR has taken a gold advantage for themselves. So, it'll be very important. Snow 2 Funky, he's died early in the last 2 fights. That is, once again, important to note. If you keep the Ezreal alive, he might be able to do something. But both times, he's just been not able to survive for very long. So,
it's definitely the basket, or the egg to go in the basket for Monster Mash's side. We got to work a little bit better at keeping him alive. Something that happened yesterday was both teams had divers, and they dived against each other, so the backlines were just susceptible to the divers, and then maybe that's something the Jarvan and the Poppy should be working better to do, instead of diving deep or Nat Phaser or Xayah Ascend, work to protect the Ezreal as much as possible, since he is by far most of the damage on Monster Mash's side.
So we are crossing that 30-minute mark, just a 1K gold lead. This is one of the closer games we've seen here in Season 2 of the Commonwealth League. You know, we've seen games stretch out to about 35 minutes, 37 minutes, but usually it's still a 7K, 8K gold lead at this point in the game. And no, this one's relatively close. And you do see here the Baron is up once again, and it's going to be a lot of vision for RWR. You see here they're going to clear out the vision that Monster Mash was able to put down.
Nar importantly doesn't have TP at the moment, so hopefully he'll be leading his way up towards the top line. Looks like he's continuing to split push, try to pull the Poppy, but Poppy has teleport, loses the 1v1 at this point, but
Dark Binding does put down on the catastrophe.
Can just work on maintaining the Gnar and try to TP into any plays that happen.
Ezreal ultimate is going to be blocked by the wind wall. You do see here both teams content to just fight or push some minions in the mid side. You do see Natsfer, he is up top. It looks like he's going to be recalling soon, but Gnar, he's going to go ahead and join in. We do have another Drake coming up. It is another Cloud Drake this time.
Great on
Ash dragon of the game. And you do see just look at how much damage that Ezreal Q does.
Yeah.
It does have the Iceborne, not going for the Trinity Force build, but
I think that's smart with how many damage dealers is on the side of RWR. They basically have 4 carries in the Morgana.
So you see here the 5 members of Monster Mash, they are in the area. Natsper, he's going to go push some minions in the mid lane, and look at the damage being put down the Yasuo. That might be a big deal. That is a big deal. If you can poke out the Yasuo, that's a lot of the RWR damage on that Yasuo. As long as Yasuo is able to get into the fight, RWR has been able to do some damage here. So the dragon is started up. It is going to be Cassio taking the dragon. No smite coming down from a stupid bird. But you do see the Gnar actually pushing some minions into that mid lane tier 2. Now he's going to just rotate up to the top side. Does have TP coming up soonish. It is going to be actually about in a minute 40 seconds. So around the 33-minute mark, he will have that TP available to him. But for now, he is just content to just roam around and do things by himself solo for a bit. Just here another Ezreal Q just chunking out that Morgana.
So we know that Ezreal is significantly further ahead than Ashe, but Ashe is on 3 items, 50% crit. Let's see the attack speed, 1.77 attack speed. That paired with their Q can deal out a bunch of damage in a team fight. So I think she's significantly weaker than Ezreal, but if she's allowed free hit or ignored in any of these fights, she's still a 3-item ADC and will melt anyone on Monster Mash's side.
Yeah, we've seen Natsfer in those fights. He's been able to slow people down with that utility that Ashe ADC provides. Able to slow down as long as Samurai as he tries to escape from the backside of fights. Able to slow down the catastrophe, forcing him to burn his flash at the end of the last fight. The Ashe has been relevant, despite being 0-4 and 9. Very much more so, I would venture to say, than Snow Too Funky, who's getting blown up at the beginning of fights, despite being very, very, very strong.
Yep,
so
she's been doing a good job at keeping himself up in farm. Almost the highest farm in the game. 1 CS bind. Oh, alright, beat Cassio for highest CS in the game, so been doing a good job at keeping himself relevant.
I do see here some vision being cleared from Monster Mash as these two teams continue to posture themselves around the Baron. Now 33 minutes in. There's some damage being put down the Morgana. She's going to flash away. Dark Binding does find the Ezreal. Cassio going to flash in, eats the Ashe Arrow, but she is still going in, maybe going a little bit too deep. She's able to dodge the Dark Binding. She's going to have to try to escape through the mid lane. Cassio just going in for it. But
very aggressive.
Maybe lucky to not get caught out by the rest of RWR, but RWR not quick enough to take advantage of that one. She's going to be down the cleanse and the flash.
Yeah, some important things for the next fight. Yasuo has QSS. Cassio and Ezreal both bought a stopwatch, and now Cassio is down flash and cleanse. Aside from that, Summoner spells down, Morgana flash, and Ashe heal. So a couple of tools down from both sides after this, and a couple of tools bought for the next fight.
So we see here things kind of slowing down once again, but that gold lead continuing to get smaller and smaller. Now down to about 500 gold here at 34 minutes. Remember, this was a game that at one point, Monster Mash was up almost 6K in gold. And we do see here it's actually going to be RWR starting up the Baron. Does Monster Mash know they're there? Well, the ward is going to spot him out. Bird is there. Bird does have smite available. You do see here, as long as Samurai, he does have TP available, so he will be able to get into this fight. It's going to be really interesting how this fight shakes out. The Baron is now down to about 2k health. Here comes the TP from Samurai. The Baron is going to go down. It is going to be on the side of Roar. Here comes Sume. The ultimate is only going to find one. It is going to find the side of her. She will go down. SnoTwoFunky trying to stay alive in the pit. I come on top of it. He will find the kill. It's a 3-0. It's a 4-for-1 ace for Roar, and they are going to go ahead and push that mid lane.
Wow. So Red's Monster Mash didn't have any vision on Baron when that started, and when they finally came up to it, it was already at half HP. And Ezreal started throwing down Qs and Ws onto the Baron, knocking it further and further, helping RWR take it. And then when that fight started, Jarvan went in for the EQ ulti onto the Ashe. Ashe had no flash, but once he got her into the pit, she was at 200 HP, and just he started walking around and not knowing what to do. Yasuo got backline access to Ezreal. Well played by RWR.
So at 36 minutes, RWR 4-0 on the season. We have got 2 4-0 teams on the year. Remember, they will meet next week, but RWR, they dropped to, Monster Mash, they dropped to 0-4 on the season. And I see in chat, and I don't like to reference chat a whole lot, Jinja, but somebody said it best, I believe. Monster Mash might be the strongest possible 0-4 team, but very well played by RWR to make the comeback in that one. You take a look at the damage chart, you would not think, that RWR won that game, but they were able to come out. And, no, how do you think they did? What do you think was the key that led RWR to claim that victory?
How chaotic the fights were. I think their team plays the chaotic fights a lot better. Ashe is a good space controller, especially when ignored, and then the Yasuo, if he ever gets backline access, can just run around. There's a lot of things to dash around. Zyra's plants are a good way to have mobility in team fights. I think it just came around to how chaotic the fights were, how disconnected they were team-wise.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot that happened in that last fight. There's a lot to explain from that last fight.
Definitely chaotic. Definitely looked a lot more like a solo queue game in the final 5 or 10 minutes than the entire first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But as we take a look at the totals, I already closed out the post-game screen. I tend to do that way too quickly. I get overexcited. But as we look at the scores, let's go ahead and give an MVP to both sides. I like that. I like that, Ginger. I like what your thinking is. So give me an MVP for Monster Mash and give me an MVP for RWR.
Oh, I already know that you're gonna disagree with me on who.
Well, yeah, I always pick somebody different. That's the point.
So I think for Monster Mash, it's Catastrophe. I know SnoTwoFunky was, the big damage dealer in the game. He has the most damage in the game, but he died in a lot of the fights, so his damage wasn't relevant. His gold lead wasn't relevant, and then Catastrophe was picking up a lot of the slack in terms of spacing and just going aggressive, dealing damage, killing people when needed. And then for RWR's side, Zyra Ascend was probably that. It's kind of tough because Nat Phaser, Zyra Ascend, and Icoma were all playing very well. I think Zyra Ascend, I really put a lot of emphasis towards space control and how well you can control where people go in a fight. And I think Orianna's a good champion for that, and setting up a lot of plays with her ultimate led to a lot of victories for RWR.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of mad you took my pick for RWR's MVP. I thought you were gonna go with Icoma, and I'm like, I'm gonna give it to the Orianna. But now you forced my hand. But I'll go ahead and give my Monster Mash MVP. You gave it to Kurt. I'll go ahead and give it to SnoTwoFunky here. The damage was big. Of course, he kind of fell off in the late game, was getting caught out, not able to keep himself alive in that final fight in the Baron pit. Unfortunately, when a Yasuo jumps onto you, there's not much you can do, stupid champion. But for RWR, and I'll give credit where it's due, I gotta give it to Icoma. I mean, when you're a lot of your damage, and basically your comp revolves around getting you into the fights, getting into the fights was important. And
it takes work. It takes skill.
It takes skill to get into the fight. I've played Yasuo a handful of times when I'm just goofing around, and I, for the life of me, struggle. And so it is a tough champion. I hate champion, but it's okay. It's not supposed to please me. So I will give my MVP to Icoma. He did an excellent job, did quite a bit in those final fights, especially when he was able to get in via the Orioles, but I would give mine to Zyros and if you hadn't picked it. It's honestly a good team win. It really is. But with that, we'll go ahead and move on to game number 3 tonight. Usually we're done about this time, but we're going to have late night action for you. Like I said, Commonwealth League After Dark. We got Lionheart Esports, 0-3, with some roster changes, going up against Nocturnal Dragons, 1-2, with pretty much their regular roster. So we'll see how that one shakes out here in just a little bit. We'll be back in just a moment for more Commonwealth League here on Twitch.